Scrawlrbox. So this is the April 2019 Scrawlrbox. I don't got much to say about it, so let's just look inside. Let's look inside the tissue paper first this time. Ooh, what is this? Looks like it leaked. Nope, that is just a popsicle that is printed on the box. And a flamingo over here in green, because that makes sense. They're brush pens. Ecoline brush pens in pastel set. I've not seen this brand before for brush pens, so I wonder if they're alcohol or not. Let me see. Maybe it'll say it on here. So they're liquid watercolor ink. Let's have a look at them. As you can see, it is meant for over 3-year-olds. I'm luckily over 3 years old, so I can use these. Yay. Crisis averted. So there's the brush tip. Well, I always do love brush tipped things, so hopefully I will like these as well. Then we have a Faber-Castell kneaded eraser. There's a white one. I have a gray one. What? That's interesting. So we have a Uniball, a Unipin. It's a Unipin fine line. It is water and fade proof. It is a 0.5. It's really interesting. It's got a little window so you can see what size nib it is, in case you didn't know what a 0.5 looked like. It's a light gray color. It says recap after use there, so I guess that's important. So there's a closer look at the nib. You don't have any gray color fine liners, so this is nice because I don't have anything like it. So the next one that we have is another Unipin fine line. This one is a 0.1, so it's smaller, and it's a dark gray, which is another color I don't have in fine liners, so that's good for me. See, it's much smaller than the other nib. Next we have a Viking graphite writing pencil in HB. Never heard of this brand before, but I'm sure it's just gonna act like another HB pencil. I'm not really brand loyal to any pencils. The candy is fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. It's very soft and squishy, which means I'm probably gonna like this candy and eat it soon. We have the featured artist artwork, and it's, what do you call that type of artwork? Typography? It's art with words, and I'm not that good at it. I'm not that good at handwriting. It says, if you're not learning every day, then you're not living every day. Kiki B is the artist. And here's her Instagram. And then we have 2 sheets of paper in here. They're pretty thick. They're probably meant for watercolor because of the watercolor brush pens that we have. We also have the sticker, which is another custom color for this month. The Scholar Challenge this month is Words of Wisdom. So it says, this month we want you to think about an inspirational quote, something that motivates you to create something or be a better person. It can be a famous quotation, something your grandma always said, or something you created yourself. It says, use the supplies in the box to either write out the quote itself in beautiful brush lettering, or draw something effectively communicating the essence of the phrase. As I said, I'm not good at handwriting, so I don't think I really want to do something like this. So it'll be interesting how I'm gonna try and follow that prompt. We'll see what I can do. We'll see. I don't know. Let's go check out these supplies and see if I can figure out how to do this prompt. It's an actual challenge this month. Okay, now that I've got everything set out, I'm going to probably start with the brush pens. So it looks like I can't really double up on these, because whenever I double up the layer, it kind of starts bringing up the paper a little bit. I do like we have a gray color, because it's probably the only color I really like in the pastel set. Not really a pastel fan. I really like this light gray Unipin. This color is nice as well. I keep wanting to write Unipin instead of Unipin. Oops. Actually, it makes purple quite well. In fact, it's almost the same purple that I already have, which actually isn't that useful since I already have the purple. Why should I mix it if I already have it? Oh. These are very slippery. They keep trying to roll away from me. So here they are closer up. As you can see, they are actually blending quite well. Not too much a difference between the light gray and the dark gray. I don't see where this one used the pen. I'm just saying. This is gonna be interesting. So I decided for my quote I was gonna go with a Harry Potter quote because, you know, Dumbledore has a bunch of amazing quotes, and I decided to go with "It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live." So for the figures, I decided to make it like a scene where Dumbledore confronts Harry in front of the mirror of Erised, and obviously it wasn't this sort of emotional in the film or in the book, but I kind of wanted to have it be where Dumbledore is comforting Harry, you know, over the loss and wanting of his parents. I started the sketch with just some very abstract little blobs. I just wanted to get the lines of action down first, and then I added some of the details. It was a bit harder for me with Dumbledore because I'm not used to doing chibis in the side angle for the face, but I'm definitely not used to doing them with an old person's face. Because all my chibis are young, but I needed to make him be old and have like the kind of crooked nose and everything. So it's a bit weird having a pronounced nose on a chibi, but yeah. I wanted to keep it very simple, so I did the chibis for the characters. I found out that with Dumbledore's sleeves it was going to completely cover Harry's face, which is possibly a good thing. Made it a bit easier, but you just kind of have to leave it to the imagination of what his face is going to actually be looking like behind that sleeve. And I sort of have him just huddled over and has his arms folded, sort of like in a protective manner. And I put him in his little pajamas. Okay. So, disclaimer. After the fact, I found out that I forgot one of the words in my quote for the whole thing. I will fix that and at the end put as a fixed version of it, but just ignore that for a little while, that there is a word missing in my quote. It's a small word, yeah. As for the words, I wanted to make the two main words to be very bold, so dreams and live. I wanted to be very bold, and then I kind of like the idea of having the letters connected in some places, so like the T's would go down and connect to the D's and the O, and then I had the line that underlines dreams to connect to the A. As you can see, I forgot on, but I should be able to put that in relatively easy after the fact. It was very nice doing this in Procreate because then I could use the geometric kind of tool to get the lines to be more straight, and then afterwards I actually took this into Photoshop and tweaked the placement of the words because they were kind of askew, and then I printed them out and used a lightbox to trace them. When tracing, it was a bit hard with the words because I wanted to be sure that it was all straight, but it was a little hard to see at times because of the studio lights that I have, since light boxes work best in dim light, but I figured it's not going to be perfect no matter what I do, so just deal with it. So I started with the darker fine liner for the outlines of the figure, and I decided to add a cast shadow at their feet just to make them more grounded in the scene. Then I added some cross-hatching to some other places where the shadows would be pretty dark. And I went over the outlines a second time around the figures to give it a bit of a bolder outline for the edges. And I used the lighter gray for the outlines of the letters. After waiting for the ink to dry a bit, I took the kneaded eraser and just sort of dabbed it to get the pencil up just because I didn't trust it to not smudge. For the colors, I started with the blue for Harry's sweater and Dumbledore's eyes. And then I used the pink to make the stripes on Harry's pants because I didn't have red. In the places that I wanted there to be shadow, I went over a second time. And then I would also use the gray to deepen the shadows a little bit. For Harry's hair, I used the gray color. I just went over multiple times with the gray, and then I used the blue to add some shadows to the hair. I decided to make Dumbledore's cloak purple because I'm pretty sure that in the books he had a purple cloak at some point. In my head, I'm pretty sure that there was a purple one. I tried to keep my strokes even so the color wasn't too streaky. I decided to add a lot of shadow to his sleeve to make it look more three-dimensional. Then I used the pink to add some highlights in places. I used the gray to make shadows for Dumbledore's hair. I decided not to do completely a base color in gray to separate it from Harry's hair color because Harry's hair is supposed to be darker than Dumbledore's. Very much darker. Then I used the blue in his hair to add some shadows and the pink for some highlights. Because I didn't use any green on the figures, I decided to make the most important words in green so that they would pop out more. And then I just alternated between the colors, sort of fading them into each other. I don't know what I'm doing with typography, so the colors, it's very rainbowy. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's what I did, and there's not much I can do about it now. So I really liked the design of this piece, but I wasn't super sure about how I did with the coloring. I liked using the blue for some of the shadows, and the colors really did mix well when I was doing the words, but I'm just not a big fan of how I did the words. I prefer it to have been just complete black or gray, but I will. So here is the fixed quote with all the words. I can't believe I forgot it. But yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think about my coloring and my design. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more like it, you can consider subscribing to my channel, because that'd be awesome. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.